So how do we lead a magical life full of positivity and manifestation, but leaving out all the nasties and not resorting to emergency magic? This was a question that was asked, and one I am going to try and answer. Okay, so Michael asked if we can discuss this, and it is kind of an easy answer, but at the same time it can be a bit tricky. And the main reason for it being tricky is that everybody has a different view of what magic is and leading a magical life. Some people will go quite in depth into magic, some people won't go so in depth into magic. But regardless of how deep you actually go, there are certain aspects that you need to actually be aware of, especially when you start a magical practice and you start actually walking down a path of magic, spirituality, whether it's witchcraft, ceremonial magic, chaos magic, shamanism, whatever it is. But when you do start walking down the path, then you do alter your energy, alter your vibration, and this tends to attract pests, little nasty astral pests that like to feed off energy, and they can attach themselves to you. Now, they're not inherently dangerous. Some of them can be, but generally they're not. They just take a bit of energy. You hardly even notice it, but they're there, and the more you collect, the more you're going to be affected. So there's a few things you can do to prevent that, and we'll go through that. But there's also the aspect of people coming along and just trying to cause you harm and just be a pain in the arse, really. So we'll have a look at that as well. But to lead a magical life, to have some kind of daily practice where it's just bringing positivity to you. This is easy to do. All you have to do is just generally meditate. You can do ancestral work, for instance. Ancestral work's brilliant. Your ancestors have been through it all. They have knowledge from life and beyond life that is very valuable to you and your practice and generally as a person. So ancestral work is actually very good and quite important, and you'll find it in all aspects of magic and spirituality right across the globe in different traditions and paths. Different traditions might change the format slightly, but at the end of the day it's still speaking with your ancestors, speaking with those that have been before you and those that will protect you and support you. We spoke about spirit of place. Spirit of place is a good one to actually look at. If you are communicating with the spirit of place, then giving it offerings and things like that, then it can actually help to protect you and your surroundings. So there's that one. But as I say, when you start walking down a magical path, you are going to attract nasties. And the easiest way to prevent that is firstly to do warding, and I'll link that video above. I did it several weeks back, probably a few months now. But there is a specific ritual in there that I use, which is absolutely brilliant. I use it for myself, I use it for other people, I use it for places. So you can actually use that for warding. I did discover it in a book about druidry. Can't remember the book's name though, unfortunately. It was several years back. But basically you set up 4 columns, you basically create a room, an energetic room that you sit yourself in, and then you call your ward to you. Now your wards are always there. They always have been, they always will be. The problem is that we tend to not think about them, especially the normal man in the street won't even bother thinking about them. So they are there, but they're not as active as they could be. So through doing a warding ritual, You then ask them to come in, you greet yourself, or you greet them, sorry, you introduce yourself, and you communicate with them, and you talk to them, and you ask them or it what their name is, and you actually continue through the rest of your life with this ward, and this ward will always be there. And this is probably the strongest protector you can have. I say that, but I don't know all traditions and paths. There's many out there. I've only just touched the tip of the iceberg, but this is the strongest one I've actually found. And it's strong because, as I say, that ward is already there, it's already present, it's always there and always will be there. So you're not trying to bring in external elements or external aspects to come and protect you. You are just strengthening the bond with the ward that's already there. Something else you can do on a daily practice is cleansing and protection rituals. And they don't need to be elaborate. You can do banishings if you want to. Lesser banishing ritual with the pentagram, that just clears your space, your mind, your body of all astral entities and negative thoughts and things like that. So you can do the LBRP banishing rituals, or you can look into hoodoo. And if you're overseas in America, have a look at Lucky Mojo. Amazing shop, amazing information that has been put on the website. I mean, that's been going for years and years and years. But with hoodoo, there are a lot of practices which focus around taking spiritual baths and also cleansing the house, how to do it properly and things like that, what formulas to use, which washes, which oils, which combination of elements, minerals, herbs, etc., etc. But I mean, hoodoo is obviously not the only one that does this. I mean, it actually ties very much into Jewish tradition and the ritual mitzvah, for instance. So there's a lot of traditions and paths out there that will speak about actual daily cleansing. It doesn't need to be daily, you can do it weekly, but there's cleansing rituals that you can take baths with, there's protection spells that you can do and things like that. Even just down to very simple things of, you can even have a look at fishwives' tales. You can speak to old people who come from a traditional background of some kind. They'll probably have little tricks that you can use, like putting cold water on top of a child's head after they've been outside, just to protect them from colds and flus and things like that. So there's a lot of information out there, a lot of stuff you can actually use on a daily basis to just cleanse yourself, to cleanse that negative energy, to purify yourself. And, you know, everybody attracts negative energy of some kind. But as I say, if you are walking a magical path, you're probably going to attract things that are a bit more intense than the normal man on the street, because there's a kind of a barrier that gets put up to that kind of life. But when you open yourself up to it, you open up that barrier and things can come through. So you just need to be aware of that and just, you know, take the necessary precautions. It's not dangerous, it's not going to affect your health in any way. It can, obviously, but generally it doesn't. You do get the people who just feel like they need to prove their magical prowess by throwing curses left, right and centre. You know, it becomes a bit of a dick-sized competition at the end of the day, but they're there. There's nothing you can do about them, and you just need to deal with it, really. But you don't need to necessarily resort to emergency magic every time. If you've set your wards up, you're doing daily practice of meditation and just general cleansing, banishing, things like that, then you should be fine. generally people who go around casting curses willy-nilly are just, they really are insecure, and half of them don't even know what they're doing. I don't know why people feel like they have to. As I say, it's probably just this need to prove that they have some kind of power. But, you know, the easiest way to deal with these people is purely just to ignore them. The one or two might come along in your lifetime that actually has some merit, and the only reason why somebody would cast a curse and is somebody who actually does have the balls and the actual knowledge and the wisdom and the actual power to actually make it effective, is somebody who you have really, really pissed off. You've threatened their child's life or something like that. Otherwise, these morons that just go about doing it for the fun of it, they don't have any power. They really don't. Generally speaking, anyway. So you can really mostly just ignore them. And as I say, ignore them mostly from the point of view that if you don't ignore them, you're probably going to start thinking about it too much, and you're probably going to start creating and generating things in your life that do manifest as being a curse. So it might not be them and them having the power to do it, but it might be you actually just self-fulfilling the curse itself. But as I say, you just ignore them. They're not really worth the time or effort at the end of the day. So, I mean, that covers basically how to keep the nasties at bay and just the general idiots. And, you know, as I say, it's just a case of being positive, really. Because the more positive you are, then the higher your vibration is going to be, and therefore you're going to stay more cleansed. You can do the extra bit here and there that actually does cleanse you or does banish all the negative influences, just to keep yourself clean. It's like anything with life. If you don't keep your house clean, it's going to attract negativity. If you don't keep yourself clean, you're going to attract negativity. So do the daily stuff, just the normal daily stuff. Just do meditation. Meditation's good in this respect because you become the unattached observer. And when you become the unattached observer, if somebody does come along who wants to throw their magical weight around just to prove something or other, then you don't get so tied up with the whole thing, and therefore you observe from a distance and you just kind of go, okay, well, you're a bit of an idiot, thanks, have a nice day. But you don't get wrapped up in the whole thing and start manifesting all of the curse or the curse yourself. So meditation's good for a daily practice, and then just your cleansing stuff. As I say, hoodoo's a good place to look for that. Got some body doing work outside. Yesterday it was gardeners going past with their lawnmowers and whatnot, so always got bloody noise around here. Anyway, so yeah, hoodoo's a good area to look into in this regard, because a lot of the work is focused on cleansing and protection, uncrossing, road opening and things like that. And you can just take some simple practices and do those. You don't need to be too elaborate about it. And then just carry on with your other stuff. Ancestral work is brilliant. It does help to bring a positive vibe in, and speaking to your ancestors, you know, the people who have gone before you and have experienced all the problems that you're going through. They can give you excellent advice. And just keep going. If something does come up where somebody has said, I've cursed you, you know, by that, you'll be able to actually navigate yourself around it. And if you need to go and ask for help, then ask for help. You can't be completely and utterly free of these idiots or the astral pests that come along. They're going to be there, so you just need to learn how to deal with it. But as I say, if you do need help, then ask for it. There's plenty of people out there who will actually help, because they just don't like the idiots either. Like me, I don't like the idiots. They annoy the crap out of me. And that's it really. If you feel I haven't covered something or forgotten something, just, let me know in the comments and we can discuss it further. Okay, so that's it for now, and I'll see you on Friday. Have a good week and go well. Cheers.